From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together. I go. They say you're not there, we stand divided, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you from Lower Country, you from Maryland. While you from Railway Station, I'm about that way on your crib. I walk on the fine way. Nabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah yeah.
I was raised in the slum, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the sun, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love that I be. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I hold in your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what I say when I come with ball. When I tell you on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, that's joining the team. You go where you pella, you lama, I'm crying. Who kill it? Who got shown up?
I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah.
Good evening, fellow Liberian. Good evening, wherever you are joining us from this evening. This is the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour current affairs program that talks about the major happenings in the country, and this is where we unearth the myth, and we bring we bring the Liberian people the reality of what's happening in the country. My name is Washington Prince Tapper Jr. And let me say about whatever means you're using to connect with us, to watch, to listen, and follow this broadcast. I'd like to say you're officially welcome to the biggest thing happening on radio at about this time in Liberia and across. So let me now welcome the host. Good evening and welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, now I'm caught on record. When somebody says welcome, and then I say welcome to somebody, and then they say welcome. I say, who's welcoming? Okay, so it's good to be here this evening on this Friday. Today should be the last appearance of us on Open Conversation before the elections.
Exactly.
And so it's wonderful to be here. We are excited to be here this evening on our Open Conversation.
Very.
So wherever you're joining us from, we'd like to say welcome, whether it's via the social media or you're listening to us via radio. We'd like to say welcome to Open Conversation and ELBC Radio.
Exactly. So welcome and welcome, fellow Liberians. So Open Conversation has a trend, and we discuss exactly what we'll be doing tonight, and we tell you our guest, and then we take your calls for a few minutes. Today we're going to be definite about the time because we're going to live in the scope of the time we're going to operate for. So let's go back to you to tell the public who our guests are for tonight, and then we talk the trending issues.
So tonight we are playing host to diaspora Liberians who support the Coalition for Democratic Change. We'll be hearing, why they support the coalition, and a lot. When you're in Liberia, it's a different thing, and when you're out of Liberia, it's a totally different thing. To support a party in Liberia is totally different in some ways from doing that when you're not on the ground.
Exactly.
And you don't see what's happening, and most times what you know is what you read on Facebook. So this evening we will have Mr. Charles Kochi. He is the CDC campaign chair, USA chapter. We'll have Claire Wilson, CDC-Usa special representative to Liberia, and we will also have Cyrus M. Sambula. He's the CDC-USA SG deputy secretary for diaspora affairs. They are going to be our guests this evening on open conversation. And let's go straight into it because we don't have much time. We told you 2 nights ago that we were going to play you some recordings. These recordings are from Saclay Pier, to be specific, in Nimba County. And we thought it's important for us to talk about these issues because of what's happening now as it relates to electoral violence. So we have series of recordings we'll play you tonight. Those are voices of Representative Roger Doma. He is the current representative of District number 7 in Nimba County. We'll also play you a voice of Saclay Pier City Mayor. His name is Jeremiah Nyega. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce the name properly, but also we will play you the voice of the bodyguard and chief security of the rescue team in Saclay Pier, the bodyguard of Representative Roger Doma, and he's also the chief security of the rescue team in Saclay Pier, Nimba County. His name is Sei Wanetwa. We're going to play their voices this evening. And like I said earlier, there are reports that people are being trained in Nimba County. There are claims and counterclaims that Representative Roger Doma has asked his chief security to train people in Nimba County. The reports are they're training people to attack other people during these electoral, times in Nimba County. There are reports of several attacks. The chief security is heard on a tape also saying yes, he's training people, but for a different reason, he's training people to dodge cutlasses and knives, and according to him,
self-defense.
In self-defense. So we're going to play the clip and then we'll discuss it a little bit. But before we play the clip, let's just talk a little bit about what's, trending in Liberia as far as we know. In case you didn't know, European Union observer mission, there are several observers now in the country, or more observers in the country. We know that they're from 27 different EU member states, as well as Canada, Norway, and the number of electoral observers we have now is up to 100.
Wow.
So you have a lot of people whose eyes and ears are on the Liberian elections. And so if you are somebody who are thinking about, bringing trouble, you already know that you have trouble at your doorstep, because you are not going to be, you're not going to be left.
You're not going to be tolerated,
untouched, because even the American government has said that, you are going to destabilize our peace. You should understand yourself properly before you do such a thing.
And it was reiterated by the Sachet affair today.
Okay.
Yeah, she reiterated what Anthony Blinken said, that the visa restriction and the American government eyes is going to be very, very keen on these elections. So if you were thinking about interposing the process, you have yourself to be blamed.
Okay, so now you hear, you know it.
Yeah.
The Justice Ministry has also said that they are not going to leave any stone unturned.
Nope.
Anybody who wants to destabilize our peace, that person is going to be brought to book. So if you're thinking about doing that, then you should think twice. And that is why it's important for us to play these clips, because if you are a lawmaker, you should know better and do better. And you are at a more advantaged point in my mind,
right, the pedestal,
because you have security assigned to you. You are far better than the ordinary man. What gives you that authority to usurp the function of the security people? We'll be talking a little bit about that this evening. And we know that President George Weah is in Sino County, and he's on his way now to Riverside County, he has boasted that his government is unmatched in terms of development track records compared to past governments. And he asked the people of Sino County, my own county, to elect him and make him, another president. Yeah,
your own county.
That's my county.
I'm from Sino.
Oh, please. Did I stop you from saying this?
Because our county.
I didn't know that you're from Sino.
I'm from Sino.
Oh, okay. Thank you for saying that. Okay, our county, so you can be satisfied. Okay. So, so far so good. Okay, so we know that we're going to elections on next Tuesday, and
approximately 3 more days from now.
Yeah,
from
3
the real
days.
day.
Yeah, 3 days to elections already. We were talking last night when we were going home that most of these people, especially the presidential candidates who have not even gone anywhere to campaign. But again, those are spoilers. In my mind, I'll call them spoilers because they will end up with 0.0% of the vote.
Yes.
And in the end, we all know that somebody wants to say, I was
a participant.
A participant, and because I was a presidential candidate and I was also a vice presidential candidate, if I would support you, if there is or there would be a second round, then that person will say, then the person will have an opportunity to get something better.
There's a clause to be discussed.
Yeah, okay.
There's a clause to be discussed.
But most of you are really spoilers because you did not even go to the other counties to even respect the people and kind of campaign there.
We were just having the conversation last night while we were driving home. Here is it. You have 20 political candidates in the race. You have the first 3 forerunners, and you have remaining 17. How many of those candidates that you've seen in Cape Mount, in Bapolu, in Maryland, like the way you see the CDC and somehow the Unity Party in some of these counties, how many times have you seen the likes of the Simon Firmer, the likes of the...
Simon Firmer is just playing around the parameters. You see him right here in GS0. On GS0, you see him. I think the farthest I've heard or seen him is in Margibi County.
You have Joshua Turner. You have what's his name? The restoration. But
all these people, and
that's what it's
sad because you guys, we don't even know where you campaign.
The people in all counties are not feeding them.
Even in Monrovia,
you're right.
There's some candidates who are presidential candidates, and
districts.
Yeah, you don't even hear about them. It's anyway, but it's elections and it's democracy.
It's democracy.
But we just thought to talk about it. Let's go straight to the recordings and play them. We're gonna play you the voice of the city mayor first of Saclay-Pierre.
Police, as a national police, will go to him, he will refuse. And so I'm just thinking that the police will have to play the role. They will not do the role. Anything that happens at the with our presence, it means the police is fully involved. And they are the last people to maintain the peace and stability of this place. I informed them that Mr. Oxie Waneto, who is a bodyguard now to Rodoma, is training people in Syria community where he hosts all the way down the whole day. And after a few days, the guy was dressed up in green clothes and looking at fatigue. And they were all here. That Sunday when they even went to the compound and broke down that place, that's the trump, all of them were in. Over 15 to 20% were in a uniform, 3 but they wanted to. And the intention they have had here is to disrupt the entire electoral process in the district, and that's the plan they have been making. Now people that came from outside and from the district that living out, that came to register, they will make sure that they will not go to those places like they register to vote. That's why they are training those people to be able to disrupt the activities. It was even after yesterday, the protest that you want to have, you have heard people on the radio that we having our program here on Monday. It was announced 1 week, and then the people coming out to celebrate their political leader. Then you are also coming off the same way Yama is coming off for protest and making a way that they disrupt the entire process, that people will escape and say the program will not help. And I think it's not okay. In the same day, they also appear to the progress in the site with all of them wearing red uniform, and the entire body, move on the road to see them. So all the thing they were doing is a sign of violence, and then they want to instill into the district because of the one election that is coming.
So that's the voice of the city mayor of Saclay-Pierre, Mayor Jeremiah Yegan. They're talking about what is happening and calling on the police to take some actions because, he thinks that, that security officer and representative, the security officer, the personal bodyguard of Representative Roger Doma and the head of security for the rescue team in Saclay is involved with a lot of things. We're going to bring you now the voice of Representative Roger Doma. He was asked about this, and let's hear his response before we go to the trainer.
I must let the public to know that few weeks ago, Benedict sent men to Markway to attack me, and to the glory of the people of Markway, that did not go beyond. The situation was contained. So we decided to beef up our security. I understand that once the white bay of Bowen was sent by Ome Kenya, to inform the statutory superintendent who had access to me that I was training people in Bay. With disrespect to my office, he and this have educated mayor went on the radio and saying all sorts of things how we want to wage war on Saclay. Everybody who has known me to be a very peaceful person, but I can also assure them that I will not sit for somebody to take away my life and you think you will get away with it. And we are putting our people on alert, informing them of every plan that they have. Because if the government cannot protect the rights of others, then the people will have to come out to do whatever to ensure that the rights are protected.
In the issue of training that's taking place in Bay, is it true that there's a training taking place?
Chief, I decided to reinforce my security. And because I was in Monrovia and the tension all around here, I advised the people, I said, okay, you can go to 2 days of training on VIP protection. That's what was done.
2 days of training on VIP protection. That is what was done. If the government cannot protect our rights, we the citizens are going to do it by ourselves. I will not sit for somebody to take away my life and not protect myself. Those are the words, of our Representative Roger Doma. But this other voice we're going to play is the guy who is training these people. And this guy is the chief security or chief bodyguard of our Representative Roger Doma. He did not say, he did not deny that he did not send people. The only thing is he sent people for 2 days according to him. The city mayor is saying that these people have been training. They have come out in green, dressed in green. The other time they were dressed in red. And the intent is to destabilize the elections because other people have come from other places who are from Saclay and they've come to register, and it's instilling fear in the people. This guy is Musa Ability is contesting in district number 7, and he's contesting against the incumbent Roger Doma. You heard him say Musa Ability is doing blah, blah, blah. But he also says that if the state security cannot protect him, he's going to protect himself. This is a lawmaker we're talking about. Let's hear from the man who has been accused of training people.
Say he had gone this far. I'm the chief of security for the rescue team in District 7. Besides that, I am a trainer. So partisans are here trying to do the exercise to know self-defense. For tomorrow that people have judgment, they want to kill them, they want to harm them, you should know how to defend yourself.
So I want to know, what will you say about the allegation from Dewey that you are training people in Dewey?
I'm telling you the response.
So you are not in Dewey of recent training people?
I'm telling you the evidence about teaching, rolling, Joshing, state Joshing classes, and what have you. We go about to the Luton area, do our exercise and come back.
I'm going to play that clip again. And if you're listening, listen well. I am a chief. I am a trainer. That's what he says. And I'm training partisans. He's a trainer. He trains people, and he came to train those people, those partisans, in self-defense, according to him, teaching them how to dodge cutlasses and sticks and what have you. Let me play that clip again, and then we get into the discussion, and then we open up the lines.
I'm the chief of security for the rescue team in District 7. Besides that, I am a trainer. So partisans are here trying to do the exercise to know self-defense. For tomorrow that people have judgment, they want to kill them, they want to harm them, you should know how to defend yourself.
So I want to know, what will you say about the allegation from Dewey that you are training people in Dewey.
I'm telling you the source.
So you are not in Dewey of recent training people?
I'm telling you, the evidence about teaching, doing, Joshing, state Joshing classes, and what have you. We go about to the Luton area to our exercise and come back.
Okay, there you have it. He is the chief of security of the rescue mission or the rescue team in Saclay. This is also a chief security for Representative Roger Doma. And Roger Doma says that he was in Monrovia, heard something, went back to the county. He's not going to sit so that anybody can harm him or kill him, in his own words. So he's going to defend himself. According to him, if the government cannot protect the rights of the people, they are going to protect their own rights. This is a lawmaker who is saying this, and he is accused of training people in the county. We're talking about, electoral violence. This trainer and chief security of the rescue team is saying to the journalists that, I am training people and I'm training them in self-defense. You take people in the bush. You take those people in the bush to, undisclosed location. You are training them and you say you're teaching them how to dodge cutlasses and knives and what have you. What is this? What has this, county come to? What is Representative Roger Doma thinking about? Why will he even, want to train people at a time when we're going to elections and you are a lawmaker and you know that we have state security? You will take upon yourself to train people. What is the motive behind that?
You see, we are in the most crucial time of our country's history. Representative Roger Doma, I don't know, but I am thinking if he's ever had a history of training people.
No, he's saying his chief security
I'm
is
coming.
training
Because
people,
his chief security cannot train people without his, a consent. He must be in the know of what his chief security is doing. Yes. So this guy does not have a history of training people. Why is it that he's training people at about this time?
in self-defense.
You understand? When was the last time this guy has ever trained people in self-defense? When? Does he have a record? Does he have a record of training people at about this time?
Even to do that?
No,
as
because
a lawmaker, you don't even know your rights. You don't know your entitlement. Don't you have security?
This thing raises a particular concern. And what is this concern? It tells you that these people have something on their sleeves.
Sinister motive.
The sinister motive. That's why they're training people. They never trained people before. Why are they training people now? All the times Roger Doma paying Nima County there, District Number 7, he's never trained people, or his chief of security for the rescue or whatever, they've never trained people. When was the last time motorbike boys then came to him and said, "Oh, people are attacking all and this that we need you to train us to dodge cutlass"?
He's training partisans.
You understand?
The partisans. Why are you training partisans? Why are you training people to dodge cutlasses and knife? Who's playing with cutlasses in your area? When people are going to elections and people are talking about election violence. And it was heard that 2 weeks ago there was a disruption. You heard the city mayor talk about them disrupting a program. Another person was, even one of his men one of them were arrested, and Representative Doma wanted this guy to be set free, and the police, did not accept to set the person free, because you are a lawmaker. If you have people who are being trained and you think you can use your powers, you're not above the law.
No.
And because you're not giving that edge, you say you're going to protect yourself. If our lawmakers are saying they're going to protect themselves, who is going to protect the citizens?
The ordinary people are vulnerable. They're absolutely vulnerable. If these people now would take the laws into their hand to execute it by themselves, you solve the function of the security apparatus in this country, then it tells you that these people are not honest and serious to the rebuilding structure of this country. It's as simple.
Why
It's
do
just
you
simple.
want to cause chaos at this time? You're going to elections. You are an incumbent lawmaker. What have you not done to encourage the people to vote for you? And you want to cause, chaos in your district.
Yes. It's
What is
embarrassing.
it? And Ambassador Boaka should speak to these things, because this is what this man is from the Unity Party.
It's a reflection to the Unity Party.
And when you go back to Nimba County, you know the history. There are people from Nimba County who are so much in. All they want is to put their lives back together and to make Nimba County that county that people will feel free to go to, and people will rest their mind and say the people of Nimba County are, good people. But there are other people in Nimba who always want to paint Nimba as a place where you don't want to go.
No.
Are citizens who always do not want peace, just because these small group of people believe that they must perpetuate themselves in power.
Simple.
And it's sad, Representative Doma. If you have done well in Sakopie, in District Number 7, the people there are going to re-elect you because your work must speak for you. But if you will come and, put people in the bush and you say you are chief security for rescue mission and he's training people, that is a recipe for chaos.
And I'm even thinking that Representative Doma, with the assertion made by the chief security, that he's the chief security for the rescue or whatever in Nimba County, and he's training people and he's associated with Representative Doma, I'm expecting Representative Doma to immediately recuse that guy of his position as chief security for him.
But who
and
told
the
him?
rescue
Who told
and
him?
the rescue team.
Man, please, ba.
And
Let
the
me
rescue
give the
team-
man the people he get to go ahead to train the
should
man.
speak, because these things they're instigating violence.
And tomorrow, people go into elections just under 3 days. People have to go. You're instilling fear in the people. If somebody left, another area, and because they're from Sakopie, they went there to register to vote, and they're hearing these things, and with the violence these few days in that area, his men against the Musa Ability. And for a matter of fact, we called Mr. Ability to speak to this issue. He, has not responded to us. But my point here is that a sitting representative has security.
Yes.
There is no need for him to train people and say he's going to do that in self-defense. And you hear his chief security saying that he is a trainer and he is training people in self-defense. He's training partisans. He said that. He said he's training partisans.
He was definite. He was definite.
In self-defense, to dodge cutlasses, to dodge,
knives.
knives. And this is wrong. And people should talk about it. The rescue team, the so-called rescue team should talk about it. Ambassador Boaka should speak to these kind of issues, because we are not ready and we're not going back to any ugly past.
Whenever you talk about Nimba, the historicity of Nimba, whenever you speak about Nimba and you're hearing these things are emanating from Nimba County, you know that the future of Liberia should not be threatened by these people in that county, particularly because these people are entrenched.
That's for me. That is not it, because this is just a small segment of the people, of just a little group of them who believe that they must, whatever, if they're in power, they must remain in power, and they will do everything to disrupt the peace. And it's not the whole county, so we can put a blanket statement.
I'm not putting it on the county, but look at this. This disruptions.
In Nimba, because the city mayor is from Nimba. He is telling him that this thing you're doing is not right.
There are certain people, whether small or big or great, there are certain people in their own, a manageable capacity can disrupt the whole piece of this place.
So you hear Senator Prince Johnson talking about war and beating war drums because he is a former warlord. And then you hear, and all of them are from the same party.
What are
you afraid of? And for me, I'm speaking to Representative Doma tonight, because if you are an incumbent lawmaker who have served your people well, then the people will vote for you. There's no need of you beating war drum over there. We're going to elections, and these people must, do the right thing, because people have their voting cards. People have their rights to turn out to, to vote for whoever they want to vote for.
Simple.
And you cannot instill fear in the people because you want them to vote for you. It's totally unfair. And the last person to do that should be a lawmaker, because you are a lawmaker. You were voted for. you came to power through the votes of the people. If you did not do well and the people want to unseat you, and you were having, you're scared because your contender or your major contender has, done some things that you think the people are going to look at and vote for him, there's no need of you for you to kind of threaten the peace of this nation. Because if anything starts over there, the the probability for that to spread to other parts of your county and even other counties is very, very high. And the security, should be on high alert, because this is a serious case.
It's a security threat.
Yes.
It's a security
If
threat.
a lawmaker can say that he, is going to defend himself,
Protect himself,
then you can already know. And his chief security, is on record for training people. We're going to the lines now. We'll take a few of your calls and then we usher in our guest this evening.
So let's go to the lines and take a few calls on 0880-514-096. Other numbers, we take few calls, very few calls. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you have 30 seconds, sir. Very few.
Thanks for having me. My name is Mark Doko, and I called from the office of the Coalition for Democratic Change as the Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research for Revolutionary National Youth.
Sir, please go to the point. Your
Let me
portfolio
appreciate
too low.
you for the conversation. Thank you. Let me appreciate you for the conversation. You see, the reason why these people from the Unity Party angle do not have no argument but to instill fears in the Liberian people is because they see that the feet ahead. Look at the statement coming from their Senate bearer, reaching down to their partisan. A certain representative who chief security would say he's training people to dodge spotlights and knives. In the first place, who's going to instill fear in you or going to fight you before you train people to dodge spotlights and knives? This thing shouldn't be happening.
Okay, sir.
That the international community, ECOWAS, are watching, and we too are documenting all these statements.
Thank you.
Yesterday, Pre-Justice said there will be an Arab Spring. Yesterday, Ambassador Barker said there will be a war or there will be...
Liberia will go down. Let me help you. Okay, we're going to leave you at that. There'll be an end of Liberia.
Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Sir, go ahead. You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. My name is Safi Musa, so I'm calling you from Kingsville.
Go ahead.
Okay, I heard your discussion concerning the sitting lawmakers in my country, but I also want you to reflect that the honorable
Versus Open Conversation on ELBC Radio, and shortly we will take our guest. You have to lower the volume of your radio, please. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, that caller seems not to be ready. Let's take this one. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
You don't seem to be ready. Good evening.
Good evening today.
Good evening,
How
sir.
you doing?
Good.
Yeah, today.
Present.
I would say thank you for the topic of the discussion. These people who in the Unity Party, as we all know, as a Liberian, I want to come to the station tomorrow and end my topic with you people. The people who coming to be.
Hello? I'm sorry, we're not getting you anymore.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Titi, and good evening to your panelists. My name is Prince Samuel, and I'm calling from PCJ by this evening. Well, Titi, this thing is actually getting alarming. Well, the issue of what people not wanting to refuse and to accept that they will lose. Every time, let's say, the increasing weight of threats all around the country, it was in Alofa, later on it escalated to Limba, it went to grandchildren. Now it's coming around. We are getting a threat. We are getting a threat. I want to use this leader to call on national government to take seat of security in this country. If not, things will go on here. Thanks for the opportunity tonight.
Thank you also for being a part of the program. Lower the volume of your radio, please. Please, the noise behind you is very disturbing. Please. Okay, you don't seem to be ready. Good evening.
Good evening, TV. How you doing?
Good.
Well, it's just a serious thing, and I hear from Nima country. Hello?
You're live, Era.
Yo, it is Victor. You think people that was on Zuma and Prince Johnson, all them did it was never working in our country. We pass that level. You might offer development and not offer we are not offer war, we are not offer anything. We could offer development to our life. No place on the street war don't hear kind of accept it. That's the only thing don't really he don't afford the war don't in their family. We will not accept the demand.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the program.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, and Dallas, Washington.
Let's hear you.
Thank you for having me. I'm Emmanuel M. Super Jr., and I call in from my resident in the community. Well, let me appreciate the two of you for your senior analysis as it relates to keeping the peace of this country. As to what you guys explain or the other place from Nima County, from that lawmaker, I think it's far for security concern. And that now the joint security should be, assigned in that area. Whoever that lawmaker is from district number 0, there should be a security eye on it. And in fact, I think the joint security is really in the whole electoral. Because there's a reason why similar thing happening in Lofa County. To prevent similar things from happening in Nima County, in district number 7 specifically, where the district lawmaker is training, people in state that train partisans to protect themselves. I don't know who you want to protect them against. I think it is necessary that the joint security get a stand over there because we are observing that to be another hotspot for a possible violent eruption.
Okay, thank you.
In local country. Thank you very much for a 4-minute time.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from?
Thank you. This is John David from Ghana.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, you guys in the studio. One thing I noticed about Nima, we love peace and we believe in peace. Peace is winning. Nima people, they are calm people. The only thing Nima will do, I say go on Nima my way. But Nima, we are calm. We are calm set of group of people in that room. But I'm currently appealing to the journalists in this country. A piece of peace we all enjoy a rest again on the shoulder of the journalist. The way in which you are sharing information now.
It rests also on the shoulder of the people who are beating war drums. So it's not on the journalists report what they see, what they hear. They don't go around.
Journalists don't make the story cheap.
What we hear is what we report. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Titi. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, Titi, you're not only a journalist, but you're one of the government officials. My question is, this recording.
You employ in the government?
I'm employed.
Authority like the Justice Ministry, the police, and other security agencies. So what are they doing about it? Because that recording is very dangerous to the country. You know, and my disappointment is Musa has not spoken. His new contender is saying such a thing. He has not spoken on it. Even his radio station are not fair just up for people to know. Only you are bringing it tonight. It's very scary. My question is, people don't have people don't on the level of the government.
The government knows about it. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead, sir. Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Well, my name is Ahamado Biswana. I'm calling you from Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County.
Let's hear you.
Let's hear you.
Thank you so much for the show this evening. And I think all of those statements that was made by the representative and his chief of security needs to be condemned.
And we have to condemn that because we only here for peace, and this peace is what we need in Liberia as we go towards this particular election. Let us think about our country. Let us think about all of our citizens within this country. That's my own word to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead, ma'am. What's your name and where you call from? Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Lucia Latifa from Tugolo.
Go ahead.
The opposition, I don't really know what they want in this country. Why are they coming with so many things to confuse the mind of the citizens of this country? The peace that we are enjoying, why they can't give us chance to enjoy it? Why are they coming with evil attitude? Treating people, are we going to war? We are just going to stay online and cash our vote. Why are they fighting us? The opposition thing they come with and to be fighting the citizens. The country you say you love, you want to be president for, you raise a whole lot of evil issues that you want to do. But you see something for those that will go get on the land to follow kind of people.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much for the show.
Thank you.
God bless.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from? I think we'll take this one. Good evening.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. My name is Brother Depo. I call from Bangabong County.
Go ahead, sir. You probably be our last caller.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the show. We pray that those things that the people talking about shouldn't come to fruition. We condemn in the higher extent. We pray that those things will not happen. But
on October 10, 2023,
we can enjoy this show now, but sooner or later those who cut off us.
No.
So
No. When you listened to the show last night, were you cut off last night?
We were cut off last night. I was listening to the show, but we were cut off.
When were you cut off?
Today. Last night, rather.
At what time? Because the show should not go off. You should go.
Okay.
Yeah, the show should not go off. So did it go off last night?
Yeah, always on.
No, you're not sure. No, it has been on, for the past weeks now. So maybe you didn't listen last night. Thank you so much. But it's not going to go off. You will end the show tonight. Yeah.
Okay, City. Thank you very much. I trust you.
Okay,
Mom.
okay, sir. Thank you. We're not taking calls anymore. We have one of our guests in studio. The others are on their way, so we will go straight into the program right now. I know a lot of you want to make your input as it relates to this, and somebody called and say, "You journalists, you are responsible." The thing about it is, our job is to say what is happening. We tell you, the public, what the newsmakers are saying. And it's incumbent upon us because we also are Liberians. We are human beings. We are not excluded when bad things happen in this country. So if anybody is planning anything evil as it relates to the citizenry, we have the obligation, we are under obligation to bring it to the public. In case you didn't know that, that is our job. And that's why we do what we're doing. If you don't like it because the person who is involved is your relative, well, I'm sorry. All you need to do is to tell those people to stop beating war drums, because they are not doing that in the favor of all of us as Liberians. Because by the time you start training people, another group of people will start training their people, then everything goes helter-skelter.
Exactly.
We have a country of law and not of men. So if something goes wrong, if you feel, you are not protected as a lawmaker who should be protected because you have security, then you take it up with the Justice Ministry. But for you to go on the radio and say that you're going to protect yourself, it is wrong, and all of us must condemn that. And you have a chief security who is treating people, we must condemn that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that and talk to the lone guests we have so far in studio as we await the other people. Like I said to you before or during the start of the show that this evening we're playing host to diaspora Liberians who are seditionists who support the Coalition for Democratic Change. Let's take this break and we will be right back. Stay with us, please.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together. I go. They say you're not there, we stand, divided we fight. There we fight.
On October 10, 2023, Liberians from all across the nation will gather to vote for their new leaders. This right of choice is your constitutional right. Please do all you can to exercise same. It is my prayer that each one will do so in a peaceful manner so that the peace and stability of our nation will remain. I hereby call on all Liberians to vote for their preferred candidate based on the record set and not based on rumors and negative information. Vote right so that the peace and development of Liberia will continue. President Weah and I are campaigning on our record. And our record shows that over the past 5 years, we have impacted the lives of Liberians in every sector, with major impact on healthcare, education, infrastructure, roads, and youth development. Vote number 18 on the presidential ballot on October 10.
Okay, let's come back to you, Cyrus. What mic are you on? 3? Are you on 3?
I think 3. Yes.
What number is on there?
Mark 3.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Cyrus M. Samula, you are the Cdc-Usa SG, that's the Secretary General and Deputy Secretary for Diaspora Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on our open conversation. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, and I'm so glad to be back home in the borderland, especially on the ELBC radio.
How has it been?
All has been well, but to the greater extent, to see the development of our country, and we see it to be a compelling responsibility to come back.
I was actually asking you, how has it been outside of the country? I'll come back to, CDC, and what you're doing. I was just asking, just coming back to Liberia, how has it been back on your end? That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's been good.
Can you come to the mic, please?
Yeah, it's been good out of the country, and I'm so glad to be home, especially in the motherland, eating my regular food.
What, tobogi or what?
Tobogi, the patajamba, and whatsoever. I'm so glad to be home and in the whole of the motherland.
You miss that?
I miss that so much outside. Even though we have that, but they are all frozen food.
It stays in the fridge for a long time before it gets to you, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get the real taste.
The real taste as compared to the one I get back home.
Okay. Which county are you from?
I'm from Cape Town.
I see why you call Pasajama. But anyways, good to have you back home. Mm-hmm. And let's go straight into it. Tell us something about, the diaspora engagement with President Weah's re-election, and what kind of penetration have you been able to establish?
Thank you so much. As per the diaspora affairs, when the president through the chairman appointed me as Deputy Secretary General for the Diaspora Affairs, we thought it was not to only stay back in the United States of America or Europe, Canada, and other part of the world, to call our people back home, say make this political decision. We said no. We thought it was to come home to form part of the process. Why other people are scaring people that this country is not safe, by 10 back arrest, by 5 back arrest, send your children to this place. That's the time we diaspora Liberian we decided to come home to make our impact felt. to make our impact felt. So we came back home with all of the risk analysis. People say, take your children from here, your band this and that, your band 10 back or rest. How long would 10 back or rest take you when there was a crisis? So we decided as CDC in the diaspora to come home, giving the developmental agenda of this government, of this president. We decided to come back home to support his initiative, to stay in the queue, to canvass like my colleague just came later from Kakata, and we were there involved in the process of voter education, telling the people what to vote and who to vote for. We asking the people to vote for President George Manuel Weah, number 18, what count it is, where it comes from. We talk to people to make that decision. How do we do that?
Now, before we go to how you do that in Liberia, I'm concerned about the people you have been able to encourage in the diaspora. What is your membership? And, how have you been able to encourage people? And if you could tell us, how many of you are back in Liberia to vote for President Weah?
As I speak now, we are more than 500 in country from the diaspora. And not only that we have 500, but there were more than 500 of us that came for the voter registration process.
Okay.
And when we came with voter register, we went back and we are here to campaign to make sure that this president is elected on the first ballot and that we will stay in the queue on Tuesday. I see us in the line. Now we're going to tell our people, say, vote for the CDC or vote for President George Weah. But you see us involved in the process. While people scaring people out of the country, we are in country to encourage people that we are part of it, and let's make sure that this works for us.
Okay, we've been joined by Mr. Clark Wilson. Welcome to Open Conversation. Which mark are you on? Is it 3? 4. Yes. Okay. Welcome to the program, sir.
It's a pleasure being here.
Great. And it's a pleasure having you this evening. But before I come to Mr. Wilson, because I know, Mr. Wilson, you are the special representative to Liberia, right?
Yes.
Do you also, okay, let me ask you this question. What does it mean? And tell us, what is your role as a special representative to Liberia?
I want to say thank you for inviting me. My role as special representative for Cdc-Usa in Liberia is to build a relationship between Cdc-Usa and CDC Liberia. And that relationship is twofold. The first thing is to make sure that there is harmony, effective communication between our group in the States and Liberia through the global chairman, Moba Molu. So that relationship, we've been building it, and I think with the way we've harmonized that relationship, that's why it has encouraged many of us. And to just make a point, Titi, the reason we are here, the reason diaspora Liberians are here is because of this president ensuring that the law that was passed, the dual citizenship law, that's why I brought Liberians to come and exercise the political franchise.
So President Weah's push for the approval of the dual citizenship status for Liberians abroad is, monumental. But how are you in the diaspora? I know you say it's the reason why you have come to pay him back, right? Tell us how important is that to you, diaspora Liberians?
Very significant. Very significant. The point is that when the president was pushing that, he didn't see CDC, he didn't see UP, he didn't see LP, he didn't see any political party. He saw Liberians residing out of Liberia who have the urge to come and make enormous contribution to the political, social, and economic development of this country. So he saw the greater good of this country. So as a result, in fact, UP members, I believe they are here to exercise a similar franchise. So it's monumental. It's significant to talk about it. So, we are excited to be here. I've been here I resigned my position in the States 2 years ago and came here to ensure that this president is reelected. The president is part
only
of
because the president
Certainly.
approved the dual citizenship status for Liberians.
Certainly, and it's a way of expressing our gratitude to him that indeed he's changed history. People can own properties. You can invest. And it's a way of improving the economic situation in this country. So we have to recognize that. It's not something to downplay. He didn't see it. He cut across about ensuring that we can have citizens who, because of the war, left this country. They can come back and own a passport and exercise that franchise. So it's very significant to talk about that.
Mr. Clark Wilson, before I come back to Cyrus, you've been leading a campaign of former national team players for the re-election of President Weah. How impactful, has that initiative been?
Well, it's been good. When we launched, I know I wear many hats. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In that capacity, we've been able to mobilize, current and former athletes, because it's about every athlete who played any sport, be it basketball, football, volleyball, kickball, amputee, basketball, kickball, and table tennis, boxing, you name it. So we've been able to mobilize our guys, and we deploy them in the different communities across Montserrat. We have planned to go across the country, but the resources are limited, so we are concentrating on Montserrat, and we have had our guys spread around the different districts, and they've been engaging in what we call community, small groups engaging and talking about the achievement of this president. And the unique thing about it, Titi, is that he's one of us, and we can be proud of him because he has been able to come to the national stage and deliver. And we're proud of that. That's why we can't sit by and not give him the support that he needs for a re-election.
So I'd like to know more about that initiative. I know you talk about all the athletes in Liberia. What is the number of this? Is it an auxiliary of
Certainly, it's an auxiliary.
Okay, so what's the number? Do we have a lot of athletes in Liberia?
Sure. We have
approximately how many?
We're talking about 1,000, and the reason not everybody going to support the president. We know that.
That's where I was coming.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with people who do not support President Weah, but they are athletes?
We respect their opinion. We respect their position.
Okay.
But we galvanize those of like minds who believe in the president's vision to change this country, and that's how we're able to sell the idea to, let me commend Minister Cdc-Usa Wilson. He was one of those who, when I sold the idea to him, he said, well, it's something for us to embark upon. You run with it. And we've had in our group, we have the Minister of Transport. He's part of this group. Well, he supports basketball.
Okay.
So
supporters of the athletes are also part of the group.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are some of the key people? I know the Minister of Youth and Sports will obviously be a part, but who are some of the key people in your group?
We're talking about Frederick Cole. He's one of we call him Amadou Sano, Abraham Sano, who is called Gold King. He's part of this group. James Salinsa is in the group.
When did he join the group?
Well,
when he pledged his support for the president?
Well, sometimes we
Diva did something 3-4 weeks back. I watched that.
Sure. And there's an ad that is running on the station where he and the Minister of Foreign Affairs cut an ad and supporting the re-election of this president. So that tells you that James Salinsa Diba is on board. And that's something we must commend him for taking that bold step. And we have former national team players, Washington Blay.
What do? Do they go to engage people and talk to people about, re-electing the president, or they're just members of the group?
They are working. We told them to go into their communities. I mean, engage your communities, talk to other people, talk to young athletes and tell them about the initiatives and the achievement of this president. And I think that has been going very well. And we want to commend all of our coordinators in the different communities across, Montserrat County.
And you think that is going to bring a lot of votes to the president?
Certainly. Okay. Confidently, I can say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me come to you, Cyrus. Many of you in the diaspora are often accused of being job seekers. And are you here to stay to contribute to the national development efforts?
Thank you so much, Titi. For us, for the diaspora.
Can you speak to the mic, please?
Yeah, for us from the diaspora, our concern is to see how Mama Liberia is delivered, to see and to contribute to support this president in his developmental agenda. When I was in the United States of America, when the president went for one of his major tour at the national, the Assembly, the United Nations General Assembly, I told him in the midst of well-welcome crowd, I said, Mr. President, if you were to perform to the expectation of the Liberian people, your second term bid will be obligatory and binding by all Liberian people. It is on the basis of that we left our jobs, we left our home, we left our comfort zone to come home to participate in this process, to stand in the line, to canvass, to make sure that the process is there. I am not here for a job. If I were to offer a job, maybe conservatively people could take it to help build this country like the president is doing. Because guess what? Just couple of months, like 2 months ago, we came down for the voter registration process. We paid nothing less than 2,000 naira per ticket. 2 months later, we are back. So you do the math. And the process of living in the diaspora is not like you leave your room empty, so until you come back before you pay. But we are here, we'll take pay and we'll take care of everything back in the United States of America and in the diaspora.
So in short, you're doing this because you asked the president to perform, and in your mind he has performed, and so you're back to support him get reelected.
Sure, we asked him to perform and he's doing well. In order to continue, the process will come down to support his second term bid. So we are on ground, we're talking to our family. Now they're taking phone call from the United States or Europe or other part of the world, say go vote. But we are here. We'll be standing in the queue Tuesday. We'll be canvassing. I just left from Bon Mines. That's the reason why I came a little late. Okay. I just left from Bon Mines to tell the Liberian people that, come on, I have 2 children that are university students. I have Abu and Queen. I remember the last day when I was here at the, before my travel, I entered the University of Liberia around 1999. It was just 25 Liberian dollar per credit. It was difficult. It was difficult to even get 25 Liberian dollar to pay for credit. I stay in America right now. My children, they are at the UL. They are at the UL. This president, through his developmental initiative, has done so much. And I could not stay there to let it go far. So I came to support the process. We are here at Diaspora Librarian. I told the guys in one of my discourse that until West Point is transformed to Mamba Point, until Slipway is transformed to Cinco in line with this president developmental initiative, for us, we're supporting to the core. We're going out here, live at our show, we're here, we're supporting. People say about 10 back already, but beginning years. I know when I was reading on the graduate courses, I thought, years, you're about 10 back already, you're about this. How long will that last for? Why people talking about buying rice, Why people talking about telling the children Ghana and other places? We are coming down. We are trooping down to make sure that this president, this government, have a second chance.
Okay, so Mr. Wilson, I want you to respond also to this question before I come with my next question. The question I asked Cyrus.
Okay.
That is, many of you in the diaspora are often accused of being job seekers. You resign your job in the U.S. and you're here 2 years now. Are you here to stay and contribute to national development efforts?
Certainly. I do some consulting work. And since I came, the president had met me on a few occasions, and he always asks, how things going? That tells you I didn't come to seek a job. I came to help develop the manpower of this country. And we are doing that through different ways. I consult at MCSS, and we are strengthening the human resource capacity of that institution. And we're also consulting at other places. And the whole idea is to develop the human capacity in this country. And we are happy to be part of that contribution. And the reason many of us believe in this president is based on what he has accomplished for such a short time. I'll give you an example, Titi. We talk about the Emirate Hospital. Was anybody thinking about building a hospital in the Western region? No. Now, to ease the health delivery system for people in the Western region, he thought about building a hospital there. That's significant. We have to talk about it. And we're talking about a 14 military hospital. The president has a strong vision. If you look at some of the things he has done in such a short time, that tells you that he has this country at heart. And we must give him the opportunity to serve another six years. We talk about education. The president is building 28 new high schools across this country, 18 ECD schools. Because if we talk about education, we talk about early childhood. Early childhood education is very important because it sets the foundation for students who want to pursue higher education. So it's important. The multilaterals, you go to Zreju multilateral has been refurbished. You go to Vonjima multilateral has been refurbished. That tells you about the vision of this president. And we must recognize those initiatives and accomplishments that the president had made. So, in my mind, I can put the president in two leadership categories. We talk about transformative leadership style that he has, and also a servant leader. A servant leader who pay attention to the needs of his people. And this president is doing that. He's showing that all across. A president who believes that he must go to the people. The president is spending the political capital well. He has spent his political capital and he spent it well. That can be shown in the massive turnout among citizens of this country, appreciating what he's doing. So I believe that the president will have a second term, and we'll make sure that it happens on Tuesday.
We'll make sure that it happens on Tuesday. If you were to, in terms of percentage, rate this government after 6 years, what will be,
90%.
Do you agree, Cyrus?
Close my eyes.
Yeah. Quantitatively, maybe I would say 90.5.
And the reason for that is that the country itself, going through some challenges. In the midst of those challenges, if a president can pull this and stabilize the economy, that tells you that this president is. I want to also commend the brilliance of the Minister of Finance. The president has a team that have been working to stabilize the economy. Look, Titi, there's something that I always talk about, and I think it's important to mention that tonight. We've been hearing about budget shortfall during the last administration. It was very
common.
You tell me about it. It was very common. Now, do you hear about that? That tells you about the brilliance of the president and his team.
So you think the economic management team of this government is far better?
Certainly. Far better. Certainly. The president said we'll never borrow from the central bank. The president, with the internal revenue sources, has been able to raise, the budget. The budget of this government is almost $1 billion. That's commendable. That is commendable. And those revenue sources were around during the past administration. They didn't utilize the revenue sources and had the support of the international community, donors. It was good to highlight that. It's very significant.
Okay, so we hear people in the opposition are saying they want to rescue the country, fix the country, sweep corruption, redeem the country. What do you say to them?
Well, it's unfortunate that they were talking about rescuing the country when the country does not need any rescue. The country is in stable hands. The country, let me make it clear, the country is in stable hands. That has been manifested through the initiatives of the POPD and this president being somebody who have been preaching peace. Tells you that he has this country at heart. The president wakes up Liberia. He sleeps Liberia. He walks Liberia. He thinks Liberia. He wakes up Liberia. So there's no way you can talk about it. So the country is in stable hands. It doesn't need any rescue.
It doesn't need any fixing.
Well, the fixing is a process. It's ongoing. The fixing is ongoing.
Okay.
I mean,
So you don't need a fixer.
since we don't need a fixer, since independence, and to culminate that was the war. So the country is in stable hands. There's no need for anybody to say they want to come and fix the country when the country is being taken care of well.
Simeon Freeman says he wants to redeem the country. He's the redeemer.
The country is in stable hands.
We don't
All
need
of
to
those
redeem.
jargons, they don't fit.
Tiago is going to sweep corruption.
When we talk about corruption, it's an age-old problem. It's an issue. But guess what?
What?
This president, under his leadership, after the establishment of the Anti-Corruption Commission, was able to revamp the commission and gave it that power to prosecute. That's significant also.
Prosecutorial power.
Yeah, it's very important for us to talk about it. That tells you that the president wants to improve the country in a way that corruption can be minimized.
No, can be minimized.
Yeah.
The previous government, President Philip says, under my administration, corruption will be public enemy number one. We didn't see that happen.
Sure.
And former Vice President Joseph Yumabwaka is back with his rescue mission. Alexander Cummings is on his fixing mission. Councillor Tiawangongo is sweeping corruption out of Liberia. And Simeon Freeman is going to redeem Liberia. And you were here saying that, all of that is not needed. Let me hear your take on that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. We've in this country, we come back home with sweat equity. Sweat equity.
What does that mean?
That means that while the guys are struggling, scaring people about temporary right, there will be a problem.
Do you think a lot of people are scared as a result of that?
Yeah, they be calling people to scaring people, and because they were scaring people, but then we have arranged to come back home to participate in the process. So, if you were to look at the grade point aggregates ever in this country, President George Manawia have the highest grade point aggregate GPA.
How?
Wow. Developmentally, he have been doing well. Like I said, until West Point, Mama Point, until Slave West Sinker, he have been doing well. Guess what? When I came in this country, I'm not wearing the glasses because I'm bluffing. Yesterday, when I was reading undergraduate courses at the UM, under the candle light, it was difficult for us. It was difficult for us 2000, whatsoever year when we were here, it was difficult for us. Now, my son, my children can put light on in the house. It was done during our time. So this president has done so much well. We come to join him to make sure that all is well. Guess what? The last time when I was here, it was where 6 political parties joined the coalition for democratic change. We had a tripartite arrangement, 3 political parties. So when I came back for the voter registration exercise, 6 new political parties joined the CDC, just quadrupling our strength. So from 6 to 9. So while the lazy guys are crying, and because I used to play soccer. Don't get me wrong, Titi. I used to play soccer those days, but when we know we can't win again, we'll fight for Gramo.
They bring confusion.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we'll put the ball
They gain confusion.
They gain confusion. We can't. Oh no. Say how they gain, and I say they gain in Gramo because we know we can't win the game. So guess what? That's the scare tactics the guys are using. And then some of us back home, when we were at the UL, we understand those tactics. They can win all.
So the reactionary tendency.
About convention. so that's the tactics the guys are scaring. They try to scare like people. You're powerful, this and that. They want cheat. Where in the world? You say all of us opposition, let's hold together. Let's watch out for one another. That, for example, if the UP is not there, another party there to watch a ballot. Let the full agreement is signed. Let's hold together.
Yes,
that if
they sign that agreement.
That agreement.
Yeah, as opposition political parties to watch out for one another.
Yeah.
During the polls.
Yeah. Watch out for one another. Then Alexander come and say, he don't watch out for me. I get my own back.
Every monkey carry own.
So the guys try to arrange this thing. The kangaroo arrangement, cause Gramo, cause this and that. We saw what the first day I learned in this country. I saw that happen. Thomas Fala coming. I said, "Mama, I'm in country." He said, "Boy, I'm in a serious type position. Where are you?" He said, "I'm in Lofa." I was like,
are you saying that the Unity Party might not have money to, pay pool washers, get people to wash out for them, and they believe that they're going to lose, and so they're causing confusion initially, so people think that they were cheated in the end?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They cause the unnecessary grumble and the unnecessary fight, so people think that they have.
Yeah, the people are already talking it will come and cheat them, right?
But guess what? Tomorrow the guys will be launching, right? They'll be closing the campaign. Yeah. We'll see the final numerical strength. The lazy people. Yeah, I told the guys that, gentlemen, tomorrow, apart from assembly at the party headquarters, let no sedition get outside. Because the people picking forth. How you going to picking force, right? They drive you for it. Say you can't now again. Say look, the picking force on all. So interestingly, right, in line with the declaration that was signed by all political parties and independent candidates, and the Farmington River
Declaration,
declaration that we are here in country. We want to call on all Liberians to please be peaceful. Please be peaceful. Who wins? Even though as I'm a Cdc and I support this government, but we know we're going to win on the first ballot. So then the guy accept the result. It's difficult to accept, but you have to accept it.
Okay.
Then compare the 12 years, they were 12 years. They have the comparative political analysis.
Okay.
All right. 12 years can be compared to 6 years. So 12 plus 12 versus 12, then we have a comparative political analysis.
Okay, we hear the president always say that. What I want to ask again before Washington comes in with his question is, put me on the scene out of Liberia. What is the feel like? What's the feeling like? I hear some of my friends out of Liberia who are concerned when, take for example the Lofa incidents. Take for example what happened in Nimba County even before the Lofa incidents. People call and say, you know, what's going on? The country doesn't seem, you know, very stable. We're afraid for you people. Do you got? Is it something that you feel also? And then when you get on the ground, what do you see and what do you feel? I want to, you know, put me on the scene back in the States or anywhere outside Liberia and coming back to Liberia and comparing the two.
You know, the guys have created the scare tactics, especially for the boy or Wallace. He made Liberia to be like no go zone. Yeah. They create a scheme tactics.
You're talking about the spoon talk,
the
right?
spoon talk.
Okay.
They make Liberia to be a fearful terrain. This one reason why some of us in the diaspora, like I told you, more than 500 of us are here to disprove the argument. The first day I enter country, I was on Facebook. I said, I'm in country. Someone that is here. All right. I came here, my car parked there, but everybody know that we're in country and the country is safe, it's stabilized. We are here to participate in the process. Liberia is safe, Liberia is good. We have challenges. I agree this government have challenges. All is not well, but things are getting better. You can't sit in your studio to drive. It's cool, it's harmonizing. All we have to do is to work together and see how best we can move this country forward.
Let me hear you, Mr. Wilson, on that.
Well, to just underscore the point my colleague just made, you know, when we talk about security, this is the first election away from unmail. And I think we must commend the leadership for the level of security they've provided. And, you know, all of the scare tactics will not go nowhere. And we also understand the propaganda, the disinformation out there on the social media platform. But I think when you compare that to the reality on the ground, it's different. And when you talk to friends, relatives in the States and other parts of the world, they begin to tell you, oh, but that's not what we're seeing on Facebook, on the other platforms. So it's unfortunate that people will buy into the disinformation, but, you know, it's part of the propaganda. But if this government can take up the responsibility to provide security and the first election after Unreal left, it's important to recognize that. The scare tactics will not go nowhere. But the focus is for Liberians to exercise the political franchise on Tuesday, which is important. And I think from what I've seen across the country, the convergence of Liberians at the political rallies of the president, it means they are ecstatic and ready to vote. So no scare tactic going to change, you know, the position of the people, the minds of the people. They've made up their mind. And the reason, Titi, that is happening is, like you said, you know, people like you was talking about, you know, going to a football game and you realizing that you're going to lose the game, you create confusion. And then you say, oh, the game, they didn't beat us, you know, and then confusion. And that's what the social psychologists call fundamental attribution error. And the reason is that they become so biased. But the president, if the president can leave from his comfort zone and go to Shasta and go to Greenville, it means he's serious. And if you as opposition, you can't do the same and go convince the voters that you can lead this country, it's on you. It's on you. Don't blame anybody for your failure.
Do you think it's a failure on their part? Because as we speak, I believe the president is even on his way to Riverside County, the last county. President Weah will be in Riverside County, and then he has to come back to Monrovia for a rally on Sunday. Since he came back from the U.S., he has been on the roads.
You know what?
Do you think is a minus for the opposition and a plus for the government?
Precisely. That tells you about the president's vision, his focus on ensuring that he's reelected. He's not taking anything for granted, but the opposition not having the capacity to campaign across the country, it's on them.
You think they don't have the capacity?
I don't know.
That's just laziness.
I don't know. I don't know,
laziness.
And if the president can go to every part of this country without that exhaustion, that tells you about the president's vigor to win this election. Now, the reason why I said that, let me give you an example of that. Imagine you have a guy walking down waterside. He has 2 heavy bags on his shoulders, and he's going through a crowded place, and people hitting him, and he blaming them for hitting him, not realizing that he's carrying 2 heavy bags on his shoulder, taking up space. That's exactly what is happening. Buyers respond because you fail to do what you needed to do. And if the president is campaigning, that tells you that he's not taking anything for granted. It means he wants to win. And if you can do the same, stop talking about rigged elections. We haven't gone to the elections yet. It's on Tuesday. Prove that you can convince the people that you can lead this country. If you can't do that, the president is doing that. So we must commend the president, the energy that he has to ensure that he's reelected, and we're giving the support.
Are you also sure, like many others in the CDC, that the president is going to win these elections on the very first ballot?
Precisely.
What makes you so sure?
Well, we've seen it across the country. In fact, on Sunday, when we're closing,
critics say crowd will be deceiving, though.
Well, from what I witnessed 3 elections in America, and when Barack was running, and when he went to campaign rallies, it was the crowd. Trump did it too. It was the crowd. That gave you a glimpse of how the election will be determined.
But the Unity Party had crowd also.
Well, not to, if we're comparing it, not to ours. I
agree with you, not to the crowd, that it can be compared to the crowd that came out for the CDC. But for you to win on the first ballot, you must have 50 plus 1.
Exactly.
So, and that is a huge number.
We agree. So, that's why the president is in Greenville. Otherwise, he would, because in America there are states that both parties will not go to. They call it they go to the battleground states. You talk about Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
So if we're comparing that to
Michigan.
Liberia,
but
what counties would be the battleground?
Battleground states, battleground counties.
You talk about Nima.
Monserrado,
Nima is a battleground, but the president was there, Lofa, and we want to peel off. We are making inroads in Lofa. I mean, the things are changing in Lofa.
Yeah.
The number is changing in Lofa. So certainly we can tell you that confidently that we're going to win on the first ballot.
Titi, guess what?
What?
By the way, at the first level, when I used to live here, I worked with the National Elections Commission and graduated with the NEC as an electoral supervisor. Okay. So we believe in statistics.
Okay.
It has proven beyond all reasonable doubt why the guys are crying for final registration rules in FRR.
Mm-hmm.
It has proven that Lofa, one of the battleground states or battleground counties, have turned blue. Lofa has turned blue. When I say turned blue, have turned in the favor of Cdc-Usa.
Is it turning blue or it has turned blue? We haven't gone to election.
Okay, Lofa is turning blue.
Okay.
Lofa is turning blue. Nimba County is turning blue.
Because you made mention of it being a, how you call it?
A battleground. Battleground, yeah. So when it's in our interest,
there is no more battle.
Yeah, no more battle. It's turning blue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's turning blue. Evidence that the guys jittering, crying, fighting in their own home. They're almost like in my county, Cape Town, You go there are fighting. So what are you doing? What did you do that? Did you get that from here? So that's what happened now to local council.
So now a lot of people are listening. Let's bring you to this question, Mr. Wilson. Yes. So the CDC is claiming a first ballot victory on Tuesday. What are some of these, factors that you can project to the people listening to you that will automatically bring the CDC to a first ballot victory, that these people who are listening to you can be convinced and, can be vividly pointed to, that these are the reasons why the Liberian people are resolved to bring the CDC to a first ballot victory?
The achievements of the president.
You can outline that. The people are listening.
Okay. We talk about electricity. The president, this government, under the president's leadership, was able to bring $65 million electricity to Liberia from the Ivory Coast, and was able to reduce we talk about. Let me talk about the reduction in electricity from 35 to 21 cents per megawatt. And that tells you that this president wants you, when you're residing in what is the zinc shack or your concrete building, you must have electricity, because through electricity we have investment. When investors come to the country, the first thing they want to see is electricity. So it's important. And we talk about road connectivity. The president has embarked on ensuring that roads are paved and connected. And it's all over the place. Many of us have talked about it. Education. Education is important. The president has paid the fees of students in the 9th and 12th grades.
Has he done better in education than the previous leadership? Let's do that comparative analysis on the previous leadership impact in education and President Weah's impact in education.
What I do know, that this president, under his leadership, they are building 28 new high schools across the country. That's important. If you look at early childhood education, it's important because that's the foundation.
Exactly.
We have 18 new ECD schools that have been built across the country.
Very important.
It's important. And then if you look at the university, to make students to go to the university, public university, without thinking about fees, that's important. You must have easy access to education. And then if we talk about technical vocational education, the president is investing in that area. We have the Ministry of Education, through its program, has improved TVET.
That means the CDC educational policy surpasses the unity parties.
There's no question about it. If you see the multilaterals, Vonjima multilateral has been refurbished. Zweju multilateral has been refurbished. That when you're graduating from high school, you should have some skills that if you have not gone to university, you can go and seek a job with any company. So that's important.
We will soon go to the lines, but let's talk. Let's respond. You want to say something?
Yeah.
Like
my well-learned, brother and comrade said. Say for example, yesterday, when I speak yesterday, now Friday or Thursday or whatever, the only United Party led government, they never had a situation of education that we have. To have us all government institutions free
learning institution,
all government learning institution free. My son sat in my house, and then he registered the courses online. That was a difficult situation when we were here reading undergraduate courses. It's under this government that I have been.
Talk about the digitalization of the government institution.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? Interesting the scare taxes that I've been having before. He said, friend of Samola, friends of this and that at the University of Liberia, the president erased everything. All you need to do, go register your courses and move forward. That's why he's hearing you guys.
Okay.
And to add before I forget, Titi, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
In the area of health, we had doctors who have been practicing in this country. We're making $700. The president was able to raise the salaries to $2,000 to dignify them. That's important to talk about. Health workers who are taking off payroll, who were left after Omeo left, the president had to absorb them on government payroll. That's important to talk about. So these are achievements by the president that require that he be re-elected to ensure that he can complete these things.
So that means the opposition doesn't pose any threat to your re-election bid.
That's right.
Okay, we have Mr. Cloud Wilson. He is the CDC-Usa Special Representative to Liberia. Mr. Cyrus Sambula is the Secretary General of CDC-USA, and he's the Deputy Secretary for Diaspora Affairs. They are our guests this evening on Open Conversation. The people from America who support the CDC, they're here, and they're telling you what they believe the government has done and why President Weah deserves a second chance. It's your time also to jump in the conversation and tell us what you think about it tonight. And the numbers to call are 080-514-096.
The caller the other time and say we should take time.
0880-514-096, and you'll be live on Open Conversation.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Sir, go ahead. What's your name and where you come from?
Yeah. This is Thomas Dema, and I call you from Musoro County.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That's your opinion, gentlemen. Thank you for this program. But I'm telling you that I'm going to say that Joseph Barker will be the next president.
Okay.
I'm going to thank you
They
so much.
respect your view. Thank you.
I'm not running for anything outgoing TT. I'm not running for
You say what?
anything outgoing
You
TT.
won't be represented?
I don't know.
These guys are
I can
provocative.
understand.
They're really, really provocative. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. How you doing?
Cyrus, lower the volume of your radio.
Okay. I'm
sure.
Mr. Johan.
Oh,
We are
okay.
senior.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Weah.
calling from Watchtower community.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I got one problem with you, the journalists, especially those of LPS.
It's not our problem. It's your problem, sir. It's not our problem.
Hello?
That's your problem.
Yep.
Good evening, Mama.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
Hey, James from District 4.
Go ahead, James.
My brother, how you doing? So welcome in Liberia.
Thank you.
For the challenge you got. Want to go to Camp Liberia to exercise your right as a citizen. This country, to tell you, you myself, we have nowhere to go. But I want to find out from you guys. There's somewhere we are thinking this country, free school. For me, the God has created the heaven and earth and say, I'm a jealous God. Do not serve no other God beside me. It's a restriction God gave his people. You get me? So I want free. For me, I prefer you teach me how to feed than you give me free thing to eat. So elaborate attention and do not to free thing in this country. For me, I prefer you teach me how to fish. That the government be able to teach us anything how to fish than to give me teach you. Thank you.
But if you're giving
Thank
free
you.
school, they're teaching you how to fish. Because if you went to school and you learn anything in school, it's for your betterment of tomorrow. Thank you very much. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Hello.
Yes, how are you?
Good. Fine.
All right.
Go ahead, sir.
What you guys are doing is this service to Liberian people.
This guy
Thank
wants
you.
to
If
disturb
we're
us
doing
now.
this service in Liberian people,
Good evening.
you alone don't represent Liberia.
We're fine.
Yes. I just want to appreciate the brother so much for the analysis. My name is Sen Daily. I call for local candidate to be festival is 1 month.
Go ahead,
Let's hear you,
sir.
So TT, I just want to tell you the re-election of George Weah, we are in momentum. We are waiting to carry our president for the second term. We don't declare, no matter what all these things the guys are doing, people are waiting. Very, very close here time and he's here. Very hitter. Not too much in the place, but God with us. Things will happen. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's take this question. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Titi. And this is Mark Doko. Let me appreciate the gentleman in studio, especially for leaving their comfort zone and coming back to Liberia to help us in soldiering for the president for his re-election. You know, all these people who call on the platform want to say negative things. These are people who doesn't understand the movements of the Liberian people. You want to take a old man who doesn't even know how to address a threat over the country to preside. This is a man who threatens the stability of our country. And you still want to trust this man? President Weah will be overwhelmingly elected, evidence of the fact that you have multiple quarters from Lofa. Lofa, who used to be our dark zone, Lofa now has gone blue. So President Weah have gone through all the 73 political districts in Liberia. That tells you that this man.
Oh, you've gone up. Let's take this one.
Good evening. Good evening. Let's leave it there. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
I'm Donald Curry. I do join volunteers. I represent the President Daughter team for the re-election of President George Manuel Weah.
Go ahead, sir.
First, I want to say thank you for the show, and thank you to the chairman, CEO, staff, Momosin. I tell you thank you. We don't care all the opposition will say, but President George Manuel Weah will be re-elected on the first ballot comes on 2010 because of the good work that you are doing and continue to do for the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, I want to say TB.
Hello.
Yeah, I want to thank the studio guests in studio for America. Actually, like, and also for what happened that they discussed the pertinent for Talented Dida coming on board because here in better George Weah they suffer and they play for a longer time when Ghana Black Star team where they said Talented Opime, Joria Close and you guys suffer. But thank God that Talented is on board the team. And Georgia is going to be re-elected come Tuesday in Jesus' name. Yeah, thank you for the show.
Thank you also for being a part.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, sir. What's your name and where you call from? Not ready yet. Let's take this person. Good evening.
Yes, this is Bill Elijah calling from Grand Chile.
Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to applaud every one of you guys tonight for the show. I've been following the show. But actually, it's a great opportunity for the youth and other people are saying that President Weah is not doing anything, but actually, to my own analysis and the observation that have been made from the election, from the day George Weah has been elected, there will change. So for me, I decided as a one person to see out there for President Weah to be re-elected. So for a re-election, you're going to accomplish all what he's supposed to do for us. You're not going to allow anyone to go this way, and every one of us got to do the best thing so that this country will be uplifted.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Hello.
Sir, what's your name and where you call from?
Hello.
Sir, what's your name and where you call from?
My name is Cc David. I'm calling you from Maryland County.
Maryland County. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say tonight is that we people in the studio, I want to thank you guys very much. For you two are ungrateful to the Liberian people. because
You don't
of
speak to us like that. What do
telling
you
you.
call we are ungrateful to the Liberian people? Because what we're saying is not in your favor.
Certain
so
thing is
we're
not in your
ungrateful to
favor. You just denigrate people like that. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
hello.
You're alive.
Let's leave it there.
Good evening. Hello.
08805140096 are the numbers. Hello.
51409.
Hello.
This one night, y'all would not.
Hello.
Cyrus.
Hello.
This person sounds like Cyrus.
Yeah, take your PC.
Okay, this shouldn't be Cyrus. This is
Yes,
PLBC.
PLBC.
Go ahead.
Yeah, keep studying and 14.
Okay.
Yes. Let me just first say thank you to the studio gang studio for we for this number 14. We are resolved, we are on ground, we are keeping the momentum of president. We'll make sure that we let president for the second thing because we're looking at so many people and president, we are done for us. So we have to say on subject to the opposition, we're not getting a chance. This financial care president, we are still there.
Thank you.
Yes, how they will take it all, they will carry the message around on this number 14. We're always concentrating our voice and photos, our Liberian people, our woman, we have to maintain our president. We thank you very much for having me. We'll always carry the
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Thank you, man. Yeah, hello.
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 You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Southern Smart from Jamaica.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, firstly, let me appreciate the few guests. They are done well to leave the area to come to Liberia to stand up for the president. One of the things we take off lately. I think they are spoken, they are said, you know, when loser let to lose, they will feel all kinds of tactics. Yeah, to bring problem in the So, there are some other measures for me I want for division to put in place. Because they needed a new rival that mean opposition to CDC. They are putting a lot of tactics. Some of them planning election day to even where CDC go on our land and they say that CDC. So, I want for those in field there to speak on it so that day when even happen, then there will be aware that it's not CDC but other people who want to bring problem in the election. So that's my concern.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hello?
Sir, good evening. What's your name and where you call from? You're live.
All right, my name is Prince Freeman. I call from Pinville.
Go ahead, Prince.
I want to commend the senior guest for commending the president, but I have some issue to also put forward. Everything that I hear today in Liberia is just about maybe the educational aspect and all of that, but it's not the only side we have in Liberia. We have the customary side. We see that the teenager, the lead council teenager, and when nothing about the cultural troop, we don't hear anything about that. Sometimes the ordinary people feel left out of all of those things. You don't only have to go to school and get everything that the country wants to get. Because I went to school in Mecca for 1 year, for example. Notice that there are towns in a place there where you don't have all the kids there having the opportunity to go to the bigger town to go to school. You don't have education solving all the problems at once.
Okay.
But the people who can have skills for traditional skills that they can benefit from. We can bring 30 people from China to come to our people here to plant math to make money out of it. We use that better math.
Okay,
All right, sir.
you have a good idea. I think it's a good thing for focus to be placed on that also. They will speak to that. Thank you so much. Let's hear this other caller.
Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Hello,
So, what's your name and where you call from?
I'm Joseph Tupa calling from Beremon, Bonkante.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to appreciate you guys so much for coming back home to exercise your voter right. And I joined the re-election of President George Weah because I who way here, Beremon, kids and children of Beremon, whatsoever will be or how it will be pronounced, to emphasize it, to have the opportunity to attend UL free. That is a great opportunity that we Beremon people can take advantage of. Some of us that we are making fun, we do not have the ability to work and transport our kids every time from Beremon here to come to Morovia and go to school, but at least we're able to rent a place for them to attend the university down there. So
Thank you.
I support the re-election. This country is not going back to colonialism. It's not going back to Asian day. We are moving forward and we'll move forward in this right direction where we are. Whether the people like it, they don't like it, President George Weah will go for the second term. Thank you
sir.
so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead, sir.
This is James Davidson. Hello. Hello.
Go ahead, James. You're live on the line.
Yeah, I'm James Davidson. Down.
Go ahead.
The fingers the opposition, they don't know, got nothing to say. They just putting fear in people, and all that fear they put in people that just for nothing happening. So we are hearing it. So we are going to take it. No second round.
All right, James. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
So, what's your name and where you call from?
this is George Wilson calling from Maryland County.
From Maryland County. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay, let me comment the studio case. I think from the America and the state of America to come and pay the equation of Liberia because they're all Liberian. So I'm a convention and the wasting is man causing from Maryland County and nobody can stop the election. And the theater is just easy. You know, the book I was saying that if they come down, they always use the hole. So
You can reach it, we can miss the whole.
My man, change the whole thing.
So we are we take the lead at the end of the day. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
We'll take two more and then we'll come back to our
Yeah.
guests.
Cyrus. Okay, this is the Cyrus name.
If I didn't hear you tonight, I would wonder.
Sarah,
Okay, sorry.
I don't want to even the student guests. I want to tell anything when someone in discussion they are telling up. So that will not be really there. And the matter what it is, because July last year they only mean as well, but they only do not step or maybe step. That will not really election. So if we are putting opportunity, you have to be a highway.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you very much. This will be our last caller.
At least I've heard Cyrus.
Good evening. You called him 2 different times.
Hello?
Sir, good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
This is Thomas CFL from District 4.
District 5. Go ahead.
You know, the elections in this country is just a judgment day for the country. So it means that the Bible says, few are according, but many are according, but few are chosen. We are waiting, President we will take a second 12 year. We pray for peace in this country.
No, it's the second 6 years, not second 12 years.
Okay. Thank Thank you so much for all of your calls. I'm sorry we're not taking calls anymore. We're coming back to our guests in studio to tell us what they make of the calls and give us their parting comments.
You heard the concerns. You heard probably one or two questions. You respond to them.
Well, I want to talk about the guy who was talking about the schools. What if I understood him well? And that's why this government has embarked on building additional 28 high schools, because I think in the past, across the country, you leave from your little town and village and come to the capital city of that county to attend high schools, and the president said no. I mean, you have access to high school not far away from your town or village, instead of coming from that town and coming to the capital city of that county. So that's why 28 new high schools are being built, and also the ECD. But generally, I think the president, the initiatives that he has started, tells you that indeed this country is on a new path to development. And to the closing argument, TT, it's about how you can leave a legacy. And in leadership, if you have a vision, if you have people who can help you drive that vision, and the vision about establishing an impact that will go for generations, is important. And I think in the mind of this president is to do just that. And you can see many of his achievements across this country. If you talk about the parks, that's huge. The president, those that visit those parks every day, they have an emotional connection to the president, because the moment they go there, they think about the president, because he has changed the social life of some of our young people, that they can go to the park and relax and play, basketball, soccer, and you name it. It's important, because those things are commonplace in other developed countries. So it's important. So I would say to our people that be peaceful, prepare for elections, prepare to vote on Tuesday. The other thing that someone said was for us to watch out for people wearing CDC t-shirts and going to the polling areas.
Why would somebody want to do that? You shouldn't be wearing any, political party.
Exactly.
That time.
And so we got to pay attention to that. The opposition, they are in
To drag the CDC into something.
They are in different mode to create chaos and confusion. But the good thing the president has been preaching is that respect the laws, be peaceful, and go to elections on Tuesday, form the line, and wait for your turn and vote. This president, we say he's the best, and he's going to carry the elections on Tuesday. And I think the vision that he has, that's why we all have come to support it. So
thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you.
Let's hear your parting comments, Sarah.
Thank you so much. I heard the callers, especially the guy that spoke of us having the tourist aspect of this country. Where we live, tourism play a lot of big impact. So give us this chance. Let's talk to the president. Let's talk to the people to make sure that the president is re-elected on the first ballot. But interestingly, we are here asking you, down bending knees, joining you, asking for your consciousness to make sure that the CDC-led government is re-elected. That's the first thing. We beg you, please give the man, this developmental president, the second chance. And then interestingly, I heard somebody speaking of the issue where people wear CDC paraphernalia to think that they are citizen. It's not going to work. We've been in the game for so long. We travel, we're part of the process. From the UL day, we know what people do. Sometimes when we are the UL, student politics, when the ballots are being counted, we already off TH building jubilating, scaring people that, oh, we are won the election. That was scary, that thing. So the guys are going to work that situation for us. But Titi, thank you for the show. I want to appreciate everybody. We're here to join you guys in the process. Please let us be peaceful. We took the risk. We are down to join you in the process to make sure that the process is re-elected on the first ballot. Thank you so much, and we appreciate that.
Mr. Cyrus Samula, thank you so much. Mr. Cloud Wilson, thank you so much. We wish you all the best as we have, I think, a day or two to elections, and we don't have to campaign after Sunday, and so this is the last mini rush. I see a lot of things going on now. A lot of people, a lot of political parties, candidates, representative candidates, and senatorial candidates using the last minutes now to convince people. But I believe that people's minds, have been made up already, and they know who they're going to vote for. Thank you so much for accepting our invite to sit with us this evening. We wish you all the best as you stay in Liberia, and we hope that we all have a very peaceful election.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Washington?
Yes, it's good. We'll be back here on Tuesday.
Yeah, but open conversation is kind of closed until we go to elections, and then we don't know what's going to happen. If one person wins on the first ballot, then we hopefully will not be the conversation will be closed. But if we have to go for a second round, then the conversation remains open. We'll stay talk and let us continue to talk and not to fight. And you have an opportunity, one man, one voters registration card. Yes. You have an opportunity to vote for the person you want to vote for. Let's do it as Liberians, and let us all come back. Whoever wins, and then Liberia moves on. Thank you so much to all of you who have made it your duty to listen to this program and continuously call. Some people don't call, but they religiously listen. We appreciate you. Have a pleasant time, and we wish you all the best as we go to elections.
Bye-bye from my end.
From the east, from the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lower Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa. I'm a